Hello, everyone. This is Senior Biotech Analyst John Vandermosten. Welcome to our channel that educates the life sciences investor on exciting advancements in drugs, biologics, and devices. For more content and news like this, subscribe to our channel below and like or share with others. Welcome back to our interview today with Dr. Lax Bhat, CEO of Reviva Pharmaceuticals. I'm John Vandermosten, Senior Biotech Analyst at Zacks Small Cap Research, and we have a $16 price target on the company, and we're very optimistic about their success in schizophrenia with their drug, their lead candidate called Brilaroxazine. They're not only working in schizophrenia, but a lot of other areas as well. Lax, why don't you tell us about some of the other areas where you're doing work? And I'll just list a few of them: bipolar disorder, major depressive disorder, and some others. Why do you think the drug is going to be effective in so many different areas?
Sure. Often when I present this one to investors, our company portfolio, I get this question as well. So we have published an article in Nature last year. Highlighting a pathobiology or the connection of a serotonin dysfunction, leading to some of the mental illness as well as a peripheral disease, lung diseases. So here the connection is between the mental illness and then respiratory indications where we are focused on the same drug. We call it as a pleiotropic effect, for a drug which is going for targeting the multiple pathways. So based on the clinical literature, the dysfunctional serotonin in the brain, we all know it's very well documented, leading to neuropsychiatric conditions as well as neurological conditions, in other words, mental illness by and large. And in the lung, they are implicated as a primary target for PAH and then IPF.
Right, yeah, pulmonary arterial hypertension and idiopathic
pulmonary fibrosis.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah. So we have the clinical data, proof of concept for a phase 2 study for treating schizophrenia. Now we are going phase 3. However, for the pulmonary indications, we have very compelling data in the translational model. It's not just in the translational model, drug alone. What we did differently than some of the other companies in this space, we compared in the translational model head-to-head with the widely used drug for pulmonary arterial hypertension. There are 3 types of drugs currently available for treatment of pulmonary arterial hypertension. So we compared all 3 types of drugs widely used for treatment of PAH in the translational model head-to-head with our drug. Based on the data in hand, we believe Brilaroxazine showed much more robust data compared to the currently available treatment for PAH, not only in improving the pulmonary arterial hypertension, and then also it has shown reduction in fibrosis, arterial fibrosis. That's very critical for addressing the pulmonary arterial hypertension. But also it reduced a variety of cytokines. Cytokines are elevated in the lungs because due to inflammation. So if a drug can address arterial fibrosis and inflammation and then vasoconstriction, so that could be a disease-modifying agent. All these 3 factors, Brilaroxazine addressed very well in the translational model.
So all of these other indications that you discussed, I think you're phase 2 ready in all of them because you've done the safety work already?
Correct.
Is that right?
We have already treated in the phase 1 study and then phase 2 study in the schizophrenia. So far we have treated 300 patients, and then we have the safety data for over close to 300 patients. So that's a really good number of patients so far treated. So with the available safety data, we are very optimistic that this drug will be very much tolerated in both PAH and then IPF patients. We intend to start the phase 2 study sometime later part of this year. FDA has already reviewed the available translational data, granted orphan designation for Brilaroxazine.
Right, yeah, I was going to ask you that. So for PAH and IPF, both, they have orphan designation already from the FDA.
Yes,
okay.
FDA has granted
So those trials are actually pretty attractive because they can be smaller, they're a little bit less expensive, and the hurdle for approval is a little bit easier as well, right?
This is orphan indication. Currently, there is no cure for PAH and then IPF, even though there are a couple of
drugs out
approved
there.
treatments.
Yeah.
But still, average lifespan of a PAH patient post-diagnosis around 5 to 7 years, and an IPF patient survive only around 2 to 3 years
Oh, wow.
post-diagnosis.
I didn't realize it was
So
that short.
if we are able to, with the new treatment, extend their lifespan at least 1 year, this
Right.
could be
No, that's significant. Yeah.
widely accepted treatment. PAH is currently around a $8 billion market.
$8 billion. Okay,
And
so it's
it
up
is,
from my last check.
Based on the various other reports, it is anticipated that by 2026 or 2028, it's around a $14 billion market.
Okay, so that's
PAH.
growing quickly. Yeah.
And then IPF, again, it's a growing market. Currently, it's around close to $4 billion market. It is anticipated by 2028 around a $8 billion market. So,
And what about some of the bigger ones? What size are those?
So neuropsychiatric conditions, the 4 major conditions we believe Brilaroxazine can address. Like schizophrenia, it's currently around a $8 billion market. By 2026-28, it is anticipated around $9 to $10 billion market. And bipolar disorder, currently it is around a $4.5 billion market, and then by 2026-28, it's anticipated around $8 billion market. Depression market is currently around $18 billion, and by 2028, it is anticipated over $24 billion.
Last thing I wanted to touch on before we close out today is on your financial strength. You recently raised, I think, almost $35 million.
Correct.
How far will that get you, and what are you going to do with those funds?
Yeah, we raised $34.5 million in last June 2021, with the participation of 3 well-known healthcare investors. So our burn rate is currently around close to $5 million per quarter. So per quarter. So this currently, with the closing of last quarter in December 31st, 2021, our cash balance close to $30 million in bank. So based on the current burn rate, the cash is good enough to go, 2022, and then maybe slightly beyond that.
Okay.
So we are overall, you can say, with the current cash position, we can get through the phase 3 study. If you focus on only phase 3 study, however, we intend to start additional indications as well. So,
like you said, for the PAH and orphan opportunities.
And then IPF, and then also dose finding studies for additional neuropsychiatric conditions.
Great. Well, that's great, Dr. Bhat. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining me today and telling us more about Reviva. It's an exciting story with a lot of large markets and a lot of compelling evidence so far supporting Brilaroxazine and what it can do for these patients. Thank you.
Thanks again for having me here.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. To hear more, follow us on Twitter @VanJohn10 and Instagram and our channel Unboxing Biotech.